How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. If you're not bullish on this market, I can't help you. I don't know what to do for you because this market is explosive. Now, the price hasn't been explosive the last few days, but we're within $1,000 of the recent high. And there is so much going on that is so freaking good for Bitcoin and good for the market. If you can't see it after this video, unsubscribe. That's fine. You can go unsubscribe right now because this is crazy what's happening right now. I want to talk about it. Bitcoin's nearly done with some of the selling pressure. It's nearly over. So let's get into it. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one as soon as I publish them. Also, if you're bullish after the video today, check out MargeX. You can long, you can short cryptocurrencies on leverage here. You can have TradingView pulled up right here so you can chart different things. You can look at indicators and you can figure out when you want to buy and sell right here, make the trade. It's super easy. There's no KYC. You don't need a VPN. And this is one of those tools that you want to have set up so that way when the market is right when you see some big piece of news, you can use something like this. There's also a link down there to HG Algo. This is an indicator that we're using that we made because we didn't see anything out there that was good enough for us. And this will tell you when different charts are bullish, whether it's Bitcoin or other charts. I have this set up. So last night I was at a wedding. It was giving me bullish price action messages, emails, and it told me when we flipped to bullish so I could go take a look at the chart, figure out if I wanted to put in a long. It makes it easy, and this is the time to reinvest in things that can make you money. Like, this isn't the time where you try to go without spending a dollar this entire bear market. This is the time where if you can spend $10, $20, $50 and make $1,000, $5,000, you want to make sure that you do it. This is not the time to be cheap, and I have to rewire my brain going into the bull market too to make sure I reinvest in the tools. That's why I built this. I spent a lot of money building this because I wanted something that could help me. So you can spend a couple dollars if you want, a lot less money than I took to build it to get these kind of indicators. And they are freaking good. I mean, look at that green, that bullish indicator, and then another bullish indicator, and then we flip bullish again. This is freaking good. So let's take a look at what's happening right now. Okay, Grayscale is selling Bitcoin, obviously. We know that. BlackRock and Fidelity are buying up all the Bitcoin Grayscale is selling and more. And then you have all these other ETFs. Keep in mind, these ETFs, just BlackRock and Fidelity, bought more already than MicroStrategy has in 4 years buying crypto. MicroStrategy doesn't stand a chance against the players like BlackRock and like Fidelity. Keep in mind, a lot of people will talk about how BlackRock's buying a bunch of Bitcoin or Fidelity. It's really the clients. They are the people that are buying for their clients. Now, keep in mind too, they probably do have some Bitcoin themselves somewhere stashed away. They have some. Let me just be clear on that. But these institutions can give access to Bitcoin that MicroStrategy just can't. Right? So they're going to continue to swallow up Bitcoin. And keep in mind too, this is something that we talk a lot about, so I won't spend much time on it. But these are $1 trillion companies. There are $3 to $5 trillion asset managers here. And they really want a large allocation to Bitcoin. Like, they don't want what they have so far. Overall, the ETFs have about 37 billion in AUM, but if you take out Grayscale, it's 14 billion. 14 billion is all. And these companies, let's just call them 20 trillion between all of them. I think that's about right. 20 trillion. This is a 0.0007 allocation. So 0.07%. If they want to get to 1%, which I think they do for the next bull run, it would make sense to get to a 1% allocation. They're going to have to do about 14x the buying. Now, keep in mind, if Bitcoin's price goes up, let's say Bitcoin's price doubled and they didn't put another dollar in here, this would be 0.0014. So even then with 100K Bitcoin, they'd still have to buy a lot more Bitcoin to get to that 1% allocation. So they are nowhere near where they need to be. They're going to have to swallow a lot more Bitcoin to get to that 1% allocation. That's if they don't FOMO in and try to get 2%, 3% allocation. And a lot of them haven't even started to hard sell their clients. Like their financial advisors haven't even gone out and had conversations with all the clients yet. A lot of institutions aren't even allowing Bitcoin ETFs, but they're going to have to at some point. Like Vanguard, like I think it's Edward Jones maybe. Some of those institutions could probably add another $10 trillion on this. And there's just pretty much infinite buying ability. Like as Bitcoin becomes bigger and bigger, people are going to want more allocation. So instead of 1%, it might be 2%, 3%. There's infinite money out there to buy Bitcoin. So there's some people that say that the buyers are getting exhausted, but as we just talked about, they have so much more to buy. They are David Goggins on the first mile of a run. They are not tired. They're just getting warmed up. Now, the other side of the equation are the sellers. A lot of people just look at buyers, but you have to remember who's actually selling, because even if the price is going up, if there's a lot of buying and there's still like a lot of selling and that selling goes down, the price will explode. Even if the buyers don't buy any more like each day, if they're buying the same amount, but the sellers are just selling less, that can cause the price to go up a lot faster. Now, the two biggest sellers of Bitcoin, in my opinion right now, one are the miners, and two, it's GBTC. Now, both of them are going to stop selling as much here very soon. For example, the miners right now get about 900 Bitcoin a day. They mine, they sell a good portion of the Bitcoin because they need to pay for staff, they need to pay for electricity, they're trying to buy more miners. Now, the change in the amount of Bitcoin each day is going to be 450. In about 2 months, they go from 900 to 450, so that causes about 450 less Bitcoin to be sold every single day. You multiply that 450 Bitcoin by the price of Bitcoin here today, and then multiply it by 50. Now, the reason I multiply by 50 is when there's a seller or a buyer of Bitcoin, if they buy or sell a large amount, the market cap of Bitcoin actually changes by more than what they sell. For example, if someone goes and sells $10 billion worth of Bitcoin right now, the price is going to fall down a lot, and the market cap is going to fall down by more than that number. So if they go sell 10 billion, the market cap's not going down 10 billion. It actually goes down much more than that. Some people have estimated that the multiple is about 100. Big institutions say it's about 100. So if someone buys $1 billion worth of Bitcoin off the market, it causes the price of Bitcoin, or it causes the market cap of Bitcoin to go up about 100 billion. Now we're going to be conservative and say 50. So there's a 50x multiple. So if there's 450 Bitcoin that's not being sold every single day compared to now, right? That difference in Bitcoin from 900 to 450. So there's 450 less Bitcoin being sold every single day, multiplied by the price, multiplied by the 50x multiplier. That's about $1.17 billion less selling pressure every single day. 1.1 billion in terms of market cap. Now, this might not sound crazy, $1.1 billion in terms of market cap, and really, you wouldn't notice it the first day. Like, it's not like Bitcoin's going to go spike up $5,000 just because there's 450 less Bitcoin being sold, right? It actually equates to about $50 in terms of Bitcoin's price. But you add that up every single day, $50, $50, $50, that does cause a big change in the price of Bitcoin. After about a year, that would be about $18,000 of less selling pressure. $18,000 on Bitcoin's price. So if there are no more buyers and sellers, if it stays exactly the same, except for the miners, right? Let's say the buyers and sellers are equal, the price wouldn't move, obviously. But let's say all of a sudden the buyers are buying the same amount and then the sellers decrease by that 450 Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will go up about $18,000 throughout a year because of the decreased selling pressure. Now, they're not even the biggest sellers of Bitcoin in the market right now. Genesis actually is selling a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of GBTC actually, and GBTC then is going and selling the Bitcoin. In my estimates, they've sold probably $150 million to $300 million worth of GBTC so far. Just a few days ago, they got court approval to start dumping GBTC. And then after that, we saw an uptick of about 70 million to 100 million each day in terms of GBTC selling pressure. This is after we went pretty much straight down in terms of selling pressure. Like a lot of people got GBTC early, then that started to decrease. Then there's court approval to start selling GBTC for Genesis, and then the price, the amount of selling went back up. So if we take a look at this, at how much they're selling, let's say they sell 100 million a day. They're causing a lot of selling pressure, uh, a lot of price pressure right now. This is equivalent to about $5 billion in terms of Bitcoin's market cap. So $5 billion each day of selling pressure. Again, $5 billion is not how much they're selling, but that's how much downward effect it has on the market cap of Bitcoin. This is a significant amount. That's about $250 on Bitcoin's price each day. So they pushed down the price just in 3 days of selling by about $750. Now, they have about 1.3, maybe $1.4 billion worth of GBTC still to sell. They had about 1.6 billion because the price of Bitcoin moved up since this article. They've sold a decent amount in my estimate so far. This can only last for another few weeks. And then there won't be as much selling pressure. There's going to be, it looks like, the same amount of buying pressure from these big institutions, which means that the price of Bitcoin will probably skyrocket up. And there are other buyers as well. For example, this is Mr. 100 Bitcoin. He continues to buy about 100 Bitcoin. It seems like every single day, but sometimes it's multiple times a day. So on the 11th, he sold about 570 Bitcoin, and part of that is probably just because he was buying at like 42,000. We made a quick move up, and a few days later, he sold at 48,000. Then he realized, oh, I need to keep on buying because the price is going up. So then he ended up buying the Bitcoin back just a few days later at a higher price, and he's been buying ever since then, or she's been buying ever since then. 100 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin. That's just in one day. They bought about 300 Bitcoin. Then another 300 Bitcoin the next day. Then the next day, about 500 Bitcoin, 600 Bitcoin. And then just as of today, they've already bought about 300 Bitcoin again. So there are whales that are buying hundreds of Bitcoin every single day. There are institutions selling Bitcoin, but very soon they'll stop selling Bitcoin because they just don't have enough Bitcoin to continue to sell. The miners are going to stop selling as much Bitcoin because they're just not going to mine as much Bitcoin. And then there's unlimited demand basically from these large institutions. A lot of institutions haven't even started offering Bitcoin yet to their clients. So if you are bearish on Bitcoin, I don't know how to help you. Of course, we're going to have volatility. We're going to have times where Bitcoin's price moves down, but it's not going to last. There's too much demand. There's not enough Bitcoin. There are people that are looking to sell because they have issues themselves, like Grayscale, right? They continue to charge a high fee because they need to be a cash cow for their parent company because they're basically bankrupt. So they are continuously having people sell because they don't want to have that high fee. They go somewhere else, or there are bankrupt institutions that are looking to sell GBTC because they need to pay back creditors. So they continue to sell, and they're selling right in front of a awesome bull market. They're selling right before we're going to move up, and they're forced to sell. So that scares some people out of the market. You have to think longer term though. Think past the next few weeks when there's some selling pressure from GBTC. Think about when all the selling pressure is dried up and the buying pressure is still there. The price of Bitcoin is going to skyrocket, and I don't want you to miss out on it. Now, again, if you are bullish on Bitcoin and you want to set up an account over on Margex, there's a link underneath the video. If you want to reinvest in something that can really help you, whether it's from a DCA perspective, dollar cost averaging into the market, knowing when good times are to dollar cost average, we have that feature on our indicator, on our HG Algo. We also have bullish and bearish momentum indicators that can be great for trading. I've already talked to a lot of people that have said that they've made money from this, and it's really helped them. So check out both those links underneath the video. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.